Hello, everyone, and welcome to Team Talk here at BloodbowlLive. Here to go through every single roster that we have for the new edition of our favorite tabletop football game. I'm here with Mr. Scott Bryant, and today we are discussing Dark Elves. They are an elf team that you love to hate, but I think that is probably the same for every single elf team, depending on the coach that you are. And a interesting one as far as changes go for the third edition as well. Scott, you yourself are a Dark Elf coach. They're a team that I absolutely loathe to play against. I think I always either win big or win or lose big. It's one of the two. If you're new to the game, why Dark Elves?
Dark Elves do have the agility you've come to hate so much, Chris, within the elf race, whether you're looking at Wood Eves, Pro Elves, or if you're looking at Dark Elves as well. And who knows, maybe High Elves in the next couple of weeks. They have that agility offering. They have a good level of skills as well, and they have a bit more protection. They have the armor 9 on the blitzers and the linemen, and they give you the opportunity to attempt to score more touchdowns. You can do the classic elf bullshittery. You can change things around quite quick. You do have the opportunity to do YOLO plays. So if you are you need a desperate measure, you are likely to get away with things, much to the chagrin and frustration of the opposition coach as well. They give you that. They're more robust. They still are. And I actually think some of the changes that are made are going to give you, the coach, the opportunity not just to go for a 2-1 grind, but obviously to do some more funkier plays as well, and really to move that ball around the pitch more than others.
Let's have a look at the roster then for the Dark Elves. The linemen come in at 65k, movement 6, strength 3, edge 2, passing 3, armor 9. No skills on there. Access to the new Devious tree as a secondary. Dark Elf runners, you can have 2 of those at a cost of 80k each. Movement 7, strength 3, edge 2, passing 3, armor 8. Dump off as before, but also the new punt skill that comes in for season 3. Dark Elf Assassins, you can still have 2 of those at 90k. Movement 7, Strength 3, Edge 2, Passing 4, Armor 8. Shadowing, Stab, and the addition of Hit and Run, making that stab much more safe and putting those assassins in a bit less peril. Dark Elf Blitzers are one of the big changes here. They have reduced the number you can take from 4 to 2. However, at 105, movement 7, strength 3, edge 2, passing 3, armor 9. With block, they are still very strong pieces within this team. And finally, your star position here is the Witch Elf coming in at 110, movement 7, strength 3, edge 2, passing 4, armor 8, dodge, frenzy, and jump up. Scott, with these Dark Elves, I think you often saw a lot of builds where they focused on the blitzers with the Witch Elves. The Assassins maybe sometimes got a bit left behind in Dark Elf rosters. But with the blitzers coming down, the Assassins gaining hit and run is a really big thing because it keeps them so much safer.
It does, Chris. The price changes and the skill changes, I think it's a nice little move. I think this one, in terms of the game designers, they are really moving you away from what was historically seen as that meta chasing build. 4 blitzers plus 2 witch elves, obviously usually with wrestle. One might be wrestle block or any other combination of the above. Prices, you're right, the lineman has gone down. The assassins have gone slightly up, so the blitzers. But what it does with those 2 new skills, it does give you the ability really to have a lot more flexibility and to use maybe some of the positionals that were overlooked before, especially when we look at the runners. Historically, you'd have brought them along to the party to get that leader extra reroll. But in addition to that, the assassins, yes, you probably won't start with 2 assassins, or you might, who knows? And as you say, the introduction of punt really opens up these end-to-end and long plays as well. So people aren't just going to be coming and crowding around you thinking all it's going to be is a handoff through a cage. And then in terms of the assassins, they can go with hit and run as well. It's it's stab, it's movement. So you've got to be thinking very carefully about how you move, how you position that defensive line, whether you're going to cage or whether you are going to zone off your defense as well. So if anything, I think these changes for me give Dark Elves a lot more flexibility in terms of how they're played, but they will give the elves a bit more strength than some of their cousins as well. If we want to look at a million build, and again, if you do want to get more into detail about possible builds, possible rosters, pop over to see young Benjamin on the Bonehead podcast. If you want sophistication and good looks, this is the place to be. What you're looking at really for a 1 million build, you can start with all of the positionals and you can mix and match. You can have a 1 witch elf, 1 assassin, 2 blitzers, 1 runner, and 6 linemen. You can have 2 rerolls, all for the wonderful cost of 980k. So you've got 20k up your sleeve. You can have a couple of extra fans, or if you're feeling a bit fruity, drop along to the prayers to Nuffle, 2 prayers to Nuffle, and you never know, could be completely game changing. Within that, you have the option. Do you need to go for both assassins, or can you go for both witch elves? Do you want to go for the runner or not, or maybe have 2 assassins? It gives you a lot more options as well, and hopefully it will give people and the opposition coaches even more to think about. Do you really want an assassin just floating around in your backfield? It will be good. The other interesting thing on the primary skills for assassins, they have edge, but they also have devious, which I think is very thematic when it comes to lore. Opens up things not just in terms of fouling, but things like fumble Ruski and some of the other previous passing skills and other options that are now coming into the devious skill set. So overall, I think this is going to be a very interesting, but a very, very potent and fruitful season 3 for the Delves.
Yeah, I think that the Delves are going to be, they've always, as far as the different elf teams that you have go, they've always been the kind of more sturdy of the teams. They've got armor 9s in there that the other elf teams simply don't have. They are the only elf team, and I'm just double checking myself before I say this out loud. Yes, they are the only elf team with access to the devious skill tree.
They are.
So it will be interesting to see kind of how that is utilized within the team. Your elves aren't going to be probably doing as much fouling, your elven union and your wood elves, because you're not going to be able to get the likes of sneaky get, dirty play, or anything like that. But the dark elves are going to be able to utilize some of those skills. I feel that they're still going to be very, very strong. I think we're going to see more variation in builds, which I think is going to be nice. I've heard people say that the runners are pretty much only there, particularly in league, to get leader on them, and then you just kind of don't utilize them as much. But I think with the addition of punt, which I think it will take a while to see how that settles in, could be a very good skill. I'm quite excited by them because I feel like they are more interesting an opponent now. They're not a team I think I'm ever going to play, but they look like a more interesting opponent to play against than I think they've been previously.
Yep. And even, I say, they give you that quite a number of options when you start with that 1 million build. You could do a few of those changes based on the positionals we've just said. Yes, you can have 2 rerolls. You can open yourself up to get 25k for that team mascot reroll. And I think they're going to be very, very interesting in terms of how they play and how people adapt now. And it gives them a bit more adaptability in terms of how you want to develop your team. Do you want to go hard and punchy, or do you want to be a bit more in the shadows, very lore thematic? Keep it quiet. And then before you know it, with a mixture of the punt skill, dump off skill, it again just opens up lots of opportunities to move that ball to safe around the pitch as well. So looking forward to it. And just a last caller, if you look in the actual rule book at the pictures of the team, and again, beautiful models, GW, beautiful models, 2 new assassin models that previously weren't in the box. A sign of things to come? Watch this space.
We will excitingly wait to see whether assassins come. Thank you, everyone. That is our Dark Elf look at for this team. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you on another team review for another one of our wonderful Blood Bowl rosters here on Team Talk. We'll see you then.